Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and y'all, it's time for some new Covergirl. I'm very excited about the situation because I was at Walgreens. Okay, let me start. Please back up just one second. I was actually on the Ulta.com website a ways back, like maybe think 2 weeks ago, okay? And I was looking around and I was like, oh, they've got this new like liquid shadow. Should I get into that? I don't know. Have I talked too much about the drugstore? I don't know what was wrong with me, because there's never too much drugstore, but I digress. So I'm going through online and I'm like, oh, I'll just grab the concealer. I'll probably put it in another video. Well then, as fate and God above would have it, I happen to saunter into Walgreens and I see this whole display of new Covergirl stuff. Girl, we have 2 primers, we have a powder, we have all of their new liquid, what are these? They're liquid glitter eyeshadows. I bought all 5 shades and their newest little palette, and I have a highlight. So we are going to be diving in. It's not an entire full face, but your girl's real excited about it because there are some things in here that I'm like, these look very promising, keeping in mind like this copper freaking liquid shadow right here. Girl, we need to try it all out. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, honey. We're gonna be jumping in, we're gonna play with all these things. We're gonna see if they're good. Do we like them? How do they sit on the skin? How do they feel? We're really gonna dive into our feelings on the subject. That's what I'm thinking. Now, before we go in and push all this gloriousness back, I just wanna let y'all know, in case you can't tell, my hair does look a little darker, and yes, all my grays are now covered because, honey, I got my hair cut and colored and I'm loving it. It's not styled the best because your girl, let me just say, all right, my hair just the styling didn't go so well, but even though it didn't go well, I still feel like the cut and color really saved it. So just to put that out there, your girl's feeling fun, fresh, fabulous, and I'm ready to play with some drugstore makeup. That's the tea. That's what's going on. Let's do this. What are these? I don't know. All right, guys, so let's go ahead here and first dive into primer. I have the 2 new ones that they released. According to the Walgreens website, these are $10.99, and your girl lost her receipt, so I really can't verify, but that's what we're gonna go in with first here. I have the new Covergirl True Blend Base Business Skin Primer. Woo, girl, these titles are just getting long. This one is the moisturizing, hydrating side, and then this one is the mattifying side. So let's go ahead here and start in first with the hydration, like just a straight up milky consistency. All right, I have a lot happening. Real quick, your girl's got to wipe some of that off because that just poured out of there like milk from a container, and I'm not obsessed. But anyways, there is the hydrating side. Let me just like wipe off the remnants from underneath my nails. And then let's take a look here at the mattifying side. Oddly enough, also white. Okay, why did I not think that was going to be the case? This one goes on and it has much less fluidity to it, which is good. Definitely it seems more on like the settle in and stick down kind of side of things, which is what you want from a mattifying primer, whereas the hydrating side still feels quite hydrating. Wow, Paige, you're a professional at reviewing makeup. The hydrating side feels hydrating and the matte side feels matte. Well, good job. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the hydrating side here on my finger. I'm not going to grab too much. I'm just going to grab a little bit and kind of work it on into the skin. Wow, that actually, does that smell that good or am I crazy? Oh, you guys, it smells really good. Kind of like a light cucumber, but like not overbearing at all. Ooh. Okay. I don't know what that face was. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a tiny bit of the mattifying and put it on this side. All right, so I've just been sitting here letting that settle and soak into the skin. Both sides at the moment feel pretty much the same as far as softness goes. The hydrating side over here does actually feel very nice and supple. It has a little bit more of like that squishy hydrated factor to it, whereas this side just feels nice and smooth, but it has 0 of that squishy hydrate to it, which is really nice, obviously, because that's what you're looking for. Now, just so you guys know, there wasn't a new foundation that was released with this little collection of all the liquid shadows and that kind of thing. But even if there had been, I wouldn't be using it for this video because anytime I'm testing out, if you're new here and you don't know this already, anytime I'm testing out like a new primer, concealer, powder, anything like that, I like to keep something consistent. So because I'm testing primer, concealer, the step in between, which is foundation, I will be keeping the same, something that I already know and love and swear by. So I'm going to go in with the Catrice HD Liquid Full Coverage. This is in the shade 010 Light Beige. It is one of my favorite foundations of all time, and I'm just going to get this all over the face. Also, I just applied that with the Morphe Y7 brush here. Now I'm just going to lightly smooth it out and just make sure everything is pressed into the skin with my Real Technique sponge. All right, so next up, guys, we are diving into the new Covergirl Concealer. This is their True Blend Undercover Concealer. I grabbed this in the lightest shade, which is L100 Fair Porcelain, and I'm looking right now on the Ulta website, by the way, I'm going to, if at all possible, switch all of this video over to the Ulta website because for whatever reason, honey, that Walgreens website just will not let me live. I do not know what's going on over there. It's glitchy and I can't deal. So on the Ulta website, this is still $10.99, which is the same price as what it said on the Walgreens website. This does only say it's in 9 shades. And if that is accurate, oh, that is sad. Oh, okay, on the Walgreens site, it says 30 shades that match 99% of skin tones. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Okay, good. So there are more, by the way. You're just gonna have to try to find them at Walgreens, whether it's online or in store. It looks like a lot of these are out of stock on the Walgreens website, but if you're looking for more than 9 shades that they have at Ulta, check Walgreens, girl. Go! On the Ulta website for details, it says conceal, shape, and brighten with the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. Say bye to bags, dark circles, and other skin imperfections with this lightweight concealer. The large, fluffy dough applicator ensures an easy, even application, and the velvety smooth formula leaves behind a matte finish that lasts all day. With 30 shades that match 99% of skin tones, it's easy to find your perfect hue. All right, I like where we're going with this. Let's go ahead here and test it out under one eye. Oh, wow, that feels really nice. This applicator, hello Tarte Shape Tape, wow. I'm just gonna go ahead here and blend that out one eye at a time because I'm not sure what the dry time is. Oh, wow, okay, blends out, very nice. Not mad at the blend. I have a little bit of blue showing through. I'm gonna try to touch it up and see if it'll build at all. Mainly just like right in that region. That actually did build up very nicely. I'm not mad at this. All right, let's do the under eye. Shape this side out and then also do the rest of the face. So I'm going to do the center of the forehead, the chin, and a little bit along the jawline just to help even out my complexion. All right, so I got that good and applied, and guys, first of all, love the way it looks. It blended out so nicely. It works with this foundation stunningly. All right, now real quick, just because we're here and why not, I'm going to grab this little guy from Catrice. This is their Triangle Artist Contour Stick, and I really have been enjoying this. Got to start trimming up that Dorito Cheeto cupcake line early, girl. Yes, honey, we had a long weekend. We ate some chips. And while we're at it here, I'm going to take a little bit of this Colourpop blush stick. This is in the shade Cool It, and I'm going to apply just a little dab here to my beauty sponge. Right there. And I'm going to lightly pop that on the cheek. How can you tell Paige hasn't played with makeup in a while? When she puts on all of it at once. Yes, please. All right, so now that we've applied all the good cream things, let's go ahead and play around with the new powder from CoverGirl. This is their True Blend Minerals Loose Mineral Powder, and this one is not available on the Ulta website, but on the Walgreens site it says it is $10.99, and I believe this was in 2 or 3 different shades, I want to say. I grabbed the shade 50 Translucent, but I also can see a banana shade as well. So you open it up here, and there is a little shag rug waiting for you. No, thank you. Okay, goodbye. All right, so guys, they are saying that right there is the shade Translucent. Absolutely not. That is so dark. Look at it in the container. That's like darker than my skin tone. Oh my gosh. All right, well, I mean, we're gonna try it, but girl, she's not looking so translucent right now. Okay, let's do it. Let's keep an open mind, Paige. Keep an open mind. Let's go ahead and take a little bit though first with my powder puff. We're gonna work it into the powder puff. Like, look at how that's deep. I'm sorry. That is not a light color, but we're gonna go ahead and apply. Lightly set everything down. Look at that. That is so dark on my skin tone that it's like covering up my contour that I did. Like, look at this side versus this side. Like, it's dark. So definitely won't be taking that up to the under eye. I'll only keep it on the cheek and probably the chin area. And, you know, just kind of let it deepen up these other areas. But the under eye, honey, that is sacred. And then for the under eye, I'm just going to grab a little bit of my Revlon Colorstay powder. And then I'm lightly just taking a little bit of this Revlon powder as well and hitting the other areas of my face that I need to brighten back up a little bit. So around the mouth and the jawline, basically the same places that I applied the concealer to brighten them up. I'm going to re-brighten them up because, girl, that powder was real dark. All right, so now that everything is set down in place, I have some thoughts and opinions on this, and I was actually reading the back of the container here, and it says, use alone or over liquid makeup for an instantly natural, healthy-looking glow. And that explains the glowiness that I was seeing, because, y'all, when I was up close at first, I was like, what is happening on my skin? It literally looked for a second there like I was covered in, like, fairy angel dust kind of situation, and that is not my preferred for a setting powder in any way, shape, or form. But once I went ahead and I kind of got it blended in, I went in with the Revlon and toned it down a little bit. That did help. So I think, do I love this? No, mainly because on my skin, it just pulls very, very dark and it is not translucent. It is very much so a deep powder on my skin tone. So I don't love it for that, but I also don't hate it because it did settle into the skin. Like the consistency was very nice and it's a very, very lightweight powder. But y'all, that glow really threw me off at first. I was like, honey, I don't see that much glow on my hand. But when you put it on your face at first, it was a moment. Right now though, it looks good, and we're gonna move on to bronzer. And for that, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of my BH Cosmetics Brilliance bronzer in Golden Gal and bronze up the face with my IT Cosmetics blurring powder brush real quick. Now for blush, I'm gonna go in with the NYX Sweet Cheeks matte blush in Totally Chill, and I'm gonna take a little bit of this on the IT Cosmetics Soft Touch blush brush here. Now I know it's been a minute, but you guys know I like to go in and put a finishing powder all over my face, and today I'm gonna go back to using my Hourglass Ambient Light. I have been using the one from Pixi lately because I love that one, their Flawless Finishing Powder, but it's been a while since I've used this one, and it happened to be looking at me today, and I was like, you know what, girl? Why not? Now for brows, there is something new from Covergirl. This is their Easy Breezy Brow Volumizing Brow Gel, which I grabbed in the shade Medium Brown 110. But before I go in with that, I am going to go in with my little IT Cosmetics Brow Power Powder. This is in Universal Taupe, and I'm going to take my Morphe JS7 eyebrow brush here and spoolie this through the brows. All right, and now let's go ahead here and bust into this brow gel. Easy Breezy Brow. I love that name. All right, has a tiny little fat chunky applicator. I'm intrigued. Let's go ahead and spoolie it through. So I just got this brow done right here, and I actually like the color of it. The tone is really nice. The only thing I'm not loving is this applicator is a little thick, like a little thick chunky kind of applicator, and the actual gel itself is a little on the thick side as well. So when I'm trying to work it through the brows, it does kind of chunk up and get all over the place around my brows, and that I'm not loving. Like, I have to be very, very careful. But other than that, it's not bad. I just don't know if I'd recommend it as a go-to if you have more sparse brows like I do. If you have full brows, I think that this would be a really nice, quick, easy go-to brow gel just because it is very, like, nice. The color is really good. Again, just the consistency if you have less brow hair might not be your favorite, but I'm getting it on. It's going. It's happening. It's not looking bad, that's for sure, honey. Yes. And also, according to the Walgreens website, this does retail for $9.49. All right, so now it is time for the main event, what everyone has been waiting for. So much eyeshadow fun. So let's go ahead and start off first by swatching and diving into all of these liquid glitter eyeshadows. Oh my God, y'all. So here's something I'm confused about. How come these liquid shadows, there was only 5 shades, right? Like, I checked all over the place. There are only 5 shades. I have them all, but they're not numbered 1 through 5. There's number 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Like, did I miss something? Are there other shades? Because I will be devastated if there are other shades. What? Guys, Ulta only has 2 of the shades of this. Well, Ulta, I feel really bad for you, honey. Isn't that embarrassing? Okay, only got 9 of the 30 concealers and 2 of the 5, honey. I don't think so. All right, guys, so remember how I told you I hated this Walgreens website right now? Still hating it. I just tried to find these shades to, like, make sure there's only 5 of them, and only 1 color will show up on their website. I don't know why that is, but I guess I really can't answer that question. Hopefully there's not more than 5 because I only have the 5 I could get my hands on. So that's what we're gonna do today. And by the way, also these retail for $13.49. About y'all, but I feel like the friggin' drugstore has been trending up in price. Like $13.49. Yes, it might not be a bad deal for what it is, depending on how good these are, but like $13.49 for drugstore, I'm like, damn, girl. A little expensive. Now here is the little component from a Covergirl. Again, these retailing for $13.49. They are very similar as far as packaging goes to the ones from Stila. There's shimmer and glows, glitter and glows, all of that good stuff. And the ones from Stila retail for $24 versus I'm going to round these up to $14. And then for the amount of product you get from Stila, it is 0.153 versus these ones, which is 0.13. So you do get a touch more product from Stila, but they are $10 more a piece. Obviously not comparing the formula or anything like that, just the amount of product and the price. So let's go ahead and start swatching these. First up here we have shade number 8. Oh wow, this is gorgeous. Oh my God, it's like the most beautiful, like midnight black kind of feel to it, where it's got like that sparkle of like purpley cuteness in there. Ooh, girl, that's really pretty. Oh, I love this. This is shade number 4. It has kind of like a champagne kind of vibe to it. Oh, it's like a peachy champagne though. Oh my God, I love that color. All right, so right here we are on to shade number 5, and this one has a much more opaque base to it than these other two. These ones, and you'll see it when I do a close-up for you, these ones have a much more like thin base to them, so it's more like glitter set into a watery kind of base that doesn't have a lot of opacity, but this one has a lot more of a like shimmery, thick, opaque base to it, kind of like the difference between a Stila Glitter and Glow and a Shimmer and Glow. The shimmery ones have a really, really thick opacity to them. They're beautiful, they're shiny, they're reflective. Some of them even have like that nice glitter reflect to them, but they do carry a lot of opacity. And the Glitter and Glow ones, they don't have as much opacity. They're in a thinner base. Same thing here. The number 5 has a very, very nice thick opaque base, and these two have a very thin base to it. I can see my hand, like my skin, through the color, if that makes sense. All right, and then here is shade number 2. It has a much less opaque base to it than the previous. It's much more like these first two. And then last but not least, I am going to throw the final shade, which is number 7, on the side of the other swatches right here. This one also doesn't have a super opaque base to it, but it is a purple tone with a little bit of reflect to it. This one has primarily, I would say, like silver and glittery purples in there, but still really pretty. Like, I love the way that one reflects the light, because I feel like you can really see like a nice kind of glitter transcendence to it when you do it. Ooh, that's pretty. All right, and then here they are up close for you guys. You can definitely see, I think, up close on camera here. This gold one has a lot more opacity to it than those other 4 do. They're not bad. They're really, really beautiful. I just wanted you guys to kind of see that difference right there. And then one more shot here at a distance. I feel like right now you can really see like my hand kind of coming through this one, the tone of my hand, this one. You can really see it poking through, but on this gold one, honey, there is no hand poking through. She is like a solid beauty. Ooh, so good. Look at those colors. So pretty. While we're here too, let's go ahead and dive through this. Now this little thingy spongy majigger just kind of fell out. Bye. We don't need her for this Queenship collection, honey. No, we do not. But let's go ahead and swatch through here. Ooh, these feel silky. All right, so far just in swatching them, which there is the entire little palette here, this palette has already swatched nicer than I think any of the other CoverGirl palettes I have tried in the past. They do still have a very, very soft consistency to them that when you swatch through them, they do get kind of chunky, kind of bally very quickly. And that's pretty much true of all CoverGirl shadows for me. Typically, I don't really love them for that. But my biggest issue with CoverGirl shades is that in the past, when they've went to the lid, they haven't had a ton of opacity, but these ones actually look really, really pretty. Like, I am not mad at that. Give you guys a nice little shot of it. Ooh, honey, especially that nice silver shade down here at the bottom. What is that, like a deep, almost silver pewter? So pretty. All right, now for the lids, I'm gonna go ahead here and prime up with the Tarte Shape Tape in Porcelain Beige. All right, guys, so diving into this palette, there is all of one matte shade, and it is this color right here, which is the second shade on my arm, which is kind of a cool tone brown, but it's not super cool, so I do think it'll work as a nice transition shade. We're gonna just go ahead and throw that through the crease, and I'm gonna do that using the BH V19 brush. All right, so here's the situation. Even though there's only one matte shade in this palette for me to really like work through the crease, I really like this color. It blends out like a dream. Now, I am getting a lot of kick in pan, and the only reason that I care about showing you guys that for this particular palette and the amount that there is that there was that much kick up after me only doing one eye, and that was a lot of kick up, which essentially is just waste. Now, to be fair, did it transfer? No. Did it fall out? No. I didn't have any of those issues, but I did just have to waste that much of the product just because it kicked all over the place. And for this size of a palette, that is kind of a problem for me, because this whole palette only contains 0.23 ounces of product. And if you take that and divide it out over all 8 shades, these shades are only 0.0287. So even if you round up 0.029, these are just over half of like what I would consider to be a standard eyeshadow shade, which should be 0.05 ounces per pan. And so for me, it isn't so much about the kick and pan, because it doesn't affect the eye look, but it does affect the amount of product you're going to have. And that's the only matte shade in this palette. So something to consider, just throwing it out there, all the information. Now, I definitely want to go in with some kind of shimmery situation here. I really love this gold shade. Oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't go in with that, guys. I lied. I want to go in with this one, which is shade 4, which is this one right here. Because I think that with this crease color will look so so pretty. And actually the other shade right here, shade number 2, is like a lighter version. So I could probably go shade 2 on the inner and then shade 4 on the middle. I think this could work. Oh my God, that's what we're gonna do. So let's go in first with shade 2 and put that on the inner portion of the eye. I'm just gonna go in straight with the paddle. Just apply it. And then I'm just lightly kind of tapping over it just because I like to feel the consistency. Ooh, that's really pretty. Ooh. And now I'm going to go in with shade 4 here and kind of hit this area. Oh, wow. On the lid, these look so different than they do on my hand. Wow. Like the color is totally different. Okay, I'm not mad at that. That's really pretty though. Wow. Build that up a little bit and just kind of keep lightly tapping them together just to blend the 2 shades and blend them all over the lid. Now they do apply to the lid with even more of a faint, less opaque look to them than they were on the hand. As I showed you guys in the close-up, they had little to no opacity, and working them onto the lid, I would actually say that they probably have less opacity to them than on the hand. So that is something to consider. These are almost applying more as like a glitter topper, I would say, than anything else. Again, I'm not mad at them. They look really pretty. I do wish though that they had a little bit more opacity to them, because I think if they did have that opacity, they would actually pop a little bit more. Again, not that you can't see them because they do have a nice shine, but they just don't like really pop off the lid as much as I would like, which is kind of a bummer. But they are really pretty, so I'm not mad at it. And actually, you know what? On the outer portion of the eyelid right there, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the shade out of the palette, this purple shade, and I'm just gonna lightly with my finger kind of apply that out here. No glitter glue or anything. I just want to deepen it up a freckle, but I still want to keep it on like that nice like light purple kind of shimmery hue that we have going through the lid. All right, so I went ahead, I moved you guys out. This is probably where I'm going to stop the eyes, and I wanted you guys to get a decent shot of them and kind of be able to see that nice glitter transient effect, because I think from far away you can actually have like a little bit more of an appreciation for it. But I'm gonna go ahead and start off first with my thoughts on this little palette right here. I did look it up on the Ulta website and it's $13.49, so I'm gonna round up and say 14 bucks. Now for $14, I actually don't hate the color story. I think it's really nice. I do like that it kind of plays off of that Queenship, those more like royal tones where you have this really nice gold here, this blue, this purple, these really nice rich kind of vibrancy to them. I really, really like that. As far as consistency goes, it was very consistent through and through. I like the shades, how they all swatched. They all had a very nice smooth appeal to them, which is enjoyable. I hate to say this, but the amount of product you get in here, in my opinion, it's just not enough. You are getting a very, very small amount of product for your money, and I feel like there are other options out there that might afford you a little bit more product. Now, that being said, if that doesn't bother you, if you're like, hey, I never use a whole palette anyways, and I like those colors, then that's totally fine. When I make a comment about the amount of product, it's something I throw in every video, because I do know that there's a lot of people out there that when they buy one palette, they just spent 14 bucks. That might be their makeup budget for the month, and I want them to know exactly what they're getting in terms of amount of product and how much you are physically going to have to make you last through however many eye looks you'll be doing while you use that palette. Now, diving into these liquid shimmers, this I could see being a little bit problematic for Covergirl, mainly because the pigmentation on these isn't there as far as a base pigment. Now, to the flip side of that, these are really nice. They went on, they're not burning or stinging my eyes in any way, and they actually feel nice and set down, which is wonderful because I've had a very rocky past with liquid shimmers like this. But okay, boys and girls, let's just take like a moment. Let's just take one moment. Stop talking about this friggin' eyeshadow and all the little ins and outs and the little, let's stop, because I looked in this bag and I was like, girl, we still have this highlight right here. This is the Covergirl True Blend Super Stunner Hyper Glow Highlight. I have this in the shade Pearl Crush. It looks a little something like this. Now, before we go ahead and test that out here, I do have to go ahead and set the face per usual. And this is the Urban Decay All Nighter Summer Solstice Blend. I will go ahead and link up here the video where I talk about this. It was a full face of new high-end makeup, I want to say. It'll be linked for you. So per usual, I'm going to take my Morphe JH05 brush and I'm going to basically just buff this into the skin and kind of pray that it's light enough, which, oh, it is a little bit deep for my skin tone. But you know what I really am loving about this? Like, let's not talk about the color for a second. Girl, let's talk about the consistency. This thing is like buffing into my skin seamlessly. It's so light. So I'm actually just going to grab a little bit of the Jeffree Star Supreme Frost Diamond Wet Highlight. This is a beautiful kind of peachy pink tone, so it'll match the color of this perfectly. And I'm just going to very lightly kind of press that. Like, it literally makes your skin look wet. I just applied way too much, but it'll help kind of counter that depth that the other shade had. And okay, you guys, this is the finished look. I did go ahead off of camera real quick, and I finished off the lips with this little combo right here. You guys know, as of late, me and these Colourpop lippy pencils. Oh my dear sweet Jesus, I love these things so much. This is in the shade X Factor, and it's a beautiful purple. I just kind of took that and like lightly smudged it around the outside. I wanted like a light purple perimeter, but still to have like some pop to it. And then I took the JSC gloss here in the shade I'm the Boss, and I worked that all over the lips and really used it to just blend out this pencil. And I love this combination with this eye so much because the eyes are so demure, but they still have that light kind of purple to them, and then it's just like bam! Little bit of pop on the lips. I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and move past that real quick and dive into my final thoughts on some of these products. So what I want to do at this point is I want to move you guys in, show you my up close, and kind of give you my final thoughts. So here's what I'm seeing on the outer portion, like the textured areas of my cheeks. I do feel like the hydrating side of my face has a little bit less apparent texture to it than the mattifying primer side. So I can see a little bit of a difference there, which I do like. I like that I can kind of see that on camera. The concealer itself is actually looking really nice. I'm not having any creasing or caking, or it's not looking overly mattified in any way, which is great. I was a little bit concerned there for a second with that mattified effect, but it does look really, really nice overall, the way it's sitting on my under eye and even on the other planes of my face as well. Now for the eyeshadows, I've already talked about both of those at length, so I'm not going to dive back into those. The brows right now, the brow gel rather, it still has my eyebrows up and at attention, so that's working quite well. And you guys, that is it for this video. I had so much fun filming this. I don't know what it was with me today, but I was just like ready to film. And as a lot of you probably know at this point, we did have a little like health kerfuffle last week with my mom, but we're good now. Everything is fine. It was a one-night thing. Girl was up over 24 hours over here making sure mama was okay, and it did delay this video by about a week, so I apologize. So let me know your thoughts down below. Again, anything you want to say hi, you want to say what's up, you want to be like, hey girl, I love your hair, whatever you want to say, leave it in the comments. While you're down there, do not also forget you can check me out on Instagram and on Twitter. They are both linked down below. So if you haven't subscribed and turned on your post notifications, please be sure to do that as well before you leave, because I do upload 5 videos a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Girl, they go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in Northern Michigan. And I don't know if you know this, girl, but that is real early, so you should definitely subscribe, turn on your post notifications. And you guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I got it done. I did my video. It took too long, but I did it. Ooh, it took too long, but I did it. Ah. All right, so I need to wipe off about 3 cups of that, guys. That just poured full. That just poured full. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer coming home from our house Christmas Eve. And you can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Look at these. We believe. And we have their new Covergirl True Blend Base Business. This is their moisturizer. This is their moisturizing primer.